Well, hey now, welcome to the Medium channel. Welcome to this live stream or this video if you're watching this later. And we're going to talk about this upcoming new moon. So, lots going on. This is a really powerful new moon coming up. And of course, we've been saying this for the last few months. I think they keep getting more and more powerful, to be quite honest. And I have like my notes all over the place, so I don't feel quite as tight both mentally as well as on my notes. But perhaps that's a statement on this new moon. It's going to be very, very Pluto influence. It's going to be in the sign Scorpio, ruled by Pluto. Pluto is raw power, and our job this month is to refine that raw power and make it work for us in some way. Whether it's to do our own shadow work, to grow our own spiritual work, or to manifest. So let's take all this raw kind of creative force of Pluto, and let's fine tune that. That's the goal. So I'm just giving a little bit of background, just kind of giving a minute or two for the live people to get their notifications and to come in. Most of you watch this as a video anyway, so no worries. But just say a few quick hellos and we're going to dive right into this. We've got 5 things that we need to know about this full moon. There's 5 spiritual exercises to go along with that. So Mercury's kind of playing into things a little bit in this cycle, but Pluto and Venus and the moon itself are going to be the major players, and I'll explain why in a minute. So hello, PAMC and Angela and Jocko. Good vibes. Yes, we want good vibes here. Always good vibes on the Medium channel, even when we have to talk about difficult or challenging things. Remember, challenge is the lion's share of growth in this very temporary human experience. So hi, MT and Susan and Barbara, hello, and Doreen, and we'll have some yoga next Sunday at 5 o'clock with Doreen from the Children's School of Yoga. Next Sunday, we'll also have free mediumship here on the channel. So if you want to come back next Sunday at 7, same bad time, same bad station, and all that, we'll just be doing messages then. And there's a few other kind of cool things that are going on. So hello, Paul Verado and Suzette and Carla the Diamond. Yes. And Angie, and welcome. So, all right, let's dive right into all of this. Like I said, my notes are a little all over the place, but again, we have this Pluto that's very raw, powerful energy, needs refinement. And that's our job, both individually as well as collectively. That's our job to be more refined. Let me see. Yeah, I'm keeping these on. So, anyway, Tuesday the 25th, that's the day of this next new moon. It's a 6:49 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time at 2 degrees of Scorpio. And it's a partial solar eclipse also. And I don't know, I think it's the southern hemisphere that's going to get it this time. The visible. I know that the nodes are around 15 degrees. So when the event's happening at 2 degrees, that's like that can only be a partial eclipse. It could be a total lunar eclipse, but that can only be just based on the mathematics. I'm not gonna. That's not what we're here for. All right. So what else is going on? Venus is going to conjunct this eclipse. I think it's 1 or 2 degrees off a direct conjunction. Venus will definitely help soften it, and we'll add some beauty and some love and some good vibes to the whole situation. Saturn and Uranus, yep, they're still squaring. That's basically chipping away at those structures that are not serving us any good anymore. That's not serving the highest good. So that's going to keep chipping away, but add a little Plutonian energy, add a little plutonium to the mix. We'll get into that in a second. So let me see what else. Saturn and Earth still squaring at some intense Scorpio eclipse energy, and the falling of the structure will increase. Now, number 2 in numerology is lunar ruled. So I always like to look at the degrees. I like to look at the numerology For example, it's a 5 universal day that brings Mercury energy into play. It also brings a nice healing vibe. So there is a very healing aspect. And if you know, and any Scorpios that are evolved, they make amazing healers. So it's a really healing sign to begin with, even though sometimes we think of Pluto's like explosion and this, that, and the other thing. But again, there's also a side to Pluto energy. You could be like a laser beam of energy. Like you could take energy in a large area and put it in a small area, and virtually with your mind, like burn paper, like a magnifying glass to the sun. So we have this at play. We have a lot of good positive power behind us this month, and this is really, and I've been saying this since the pandemic began, maybe even before that, fall 2022, winter 2023, the core of the earth changes. So we're going to see the next 5, 6 months, maybe a little longer. I think we're going to see the the central part, like the peak of these changes, just like here where I'm living in the Catskills, we just basically just past the peak of the fall colors, and we had a very nice autumn this year, by the way, for colors. For weather, not bad either for weather. So anyway, what else? So number 2 is lunar ruled, and so the moon itself is a major player this month, and the moon is very emotional. It's very reflective. It's about the subconscious. The moon is going to have, when it's at 16 degrees of Taurus. 16 is the Tower card. It's the shattered citadel in numerology. So when we had that 16 degrees in Taurus, when the moon hits that, the moon will be full. And not only will the moon be full, it will be a lunar eclipse. I believe it's a total lunar eclipse, because that's going to be aligned with the lunar nodes. So that's going to be probably a long track lunar eclipse, just based on the mathematics. So anyways, so expect heavy transformation from the inside out, personally, locally, and globally. So other than all of that, here are the 5 things to know. Number 1, new beginnings. All new moons are about new beginnings. Remember, the new moon, the moment of the new moon, the exact moment, that sets the template for the entire lunar cycle. So understanding that template, like what the energy is based on the astrology, based on the numerology, both on a universal level, but also how that affects your personal chart, whether it be your numerology chart, your astrology chart, or both. You want to know that, because when you know what the template is, then you know how to build on that template. So you know how to take advantage of these energies and not get blindsided by surprises because you don't understand the energy. So new beginnings, also final preparation. So, expect some inconveniences to the degree which we don't know the astrology and numerology, and I could go over the list, but rather than that, I'm going to have a list when this becomes a video on the pinned comment. I'm going to have a list of other videos that you guys can check out, one being Sharita Starr, our astrologer numerologist that presents here on the channel, her full forecast, because she dives a lot more into the specifics with the astrology and numerology that I'm able to do in this time. And she has the knowledge. I mean, I learned most of the stuff from her to begin with. So earth changes quick. So that's number 1, new beginnings. So prepare for new beginnings. On that note, number 2, it's a great cycle for manifestation, like really, really great moon for manifestation. And of course, when we talk about new beginnings, we always want to set our intentions, for the month and beyond. So like I said, my notes are a little all over the place, so bear with me. So things will naturally increase and speed up. Pluto is good for that. Now, there's going to be a lot of emphasis on relationships. Part of that is that 2 degrees. 2 is the number of relationships. And also Venus, the planet of friendships and relationships, is conjuncting this new moon. So working on relationships, whether you want to attract a soulmate, whether you want to heal a relationship, heal the past, um, attract somebody new, enhance your relationship that you have, but lots of emphasis on that. Now, with the eclipses comes tension, because that's an exact conjunction, of the sun and the moon. and there's also a lot of other things. So it can add tensions, but the relationship. So things can come up. Remember, communicate. If something comes up you're not happy about, open up and communicate about it. Holding things in this very secretive Scorpio energy is just not a good idea, because what gets suppressed festers. And when there's plutonium involved, what festers becomes a ticking time bomb. We don't want that. We want to, release the tension in a proper way. All relationships will carry some degree of tension. That's just the nature of the beast. Expect that to be a little bit more highlighted under this new moon energy in this lunar cycle. So a lot of people will begin and end relationships during this moon. It's part of the Venus and number 2 numerology. And there's also, thanks to this very heavy Pluto energy, there's going to be a tendency to be looking for greater spiritual connections in our relationships. And that's not just romantic. That can be our friendships and our family relations, our relationship with our pets, our relationship with our trees, our relationships with our iPhones. It's all relationship. It's all a reflection of what we're sending out into the world and how that's being reflected on us. Okay, so quickly flip the page. Oh, yes, good. I'm glad that I flipped the page. Also, with the Venus energy, Venus is about money and securities also, and beautiful things in art and friendships. Pluto, the sign Scorpio, is also very financially relevant, but in a way that tends to emphasize, large sums of money, things like tax returns, like inheritances, money from property. So this is a really good time to work on money issues, to manifest more money, especially in large sums of money and lump sums of money. But also love and sexuality. Remember, we're talking about Scorpio, a very sexual sign and a very sexual energy. So all these things are highlighted as part of our manifestation. Not necessarily the best manifestation period for things like finding a new home or a new job or stuff like that. I mean, yeah, it's good for money, and Venus does rule the home. So I wouldn't say to forget it or anything like that, but the focus is really going to be a lot on things like relationships, sexuality, money, stuff like that. So where are we here? Number 3. Okay. Psychic abilities heighten. Well, number 2 is lunar rule. The moon's about intuition. Pluto, Scorpio, very psychic energy. And let me see, where am I here? Okay. I didn't write a whole lot of notes about that. I guess that's pretty self-explanatory. Psychic abilities will heighten, and also mediumship, because the veils get very thin during the Scorpio season. So we're much closer to spirit than other. Well, I should say much closer. We're the same distance. It's just the veils are thinner. So the awareness of spirit and the awareness of energy increases, not the overall closeness. I mean, spirit is always with us. Our loved ones on the other side, our guides, they're with us. They're just not part of this physical universe. So they exist in a different frequency. So they're with us, but we can't necessarily see or sense them until we shift out of our human perspective and more into our spiritual perspective. In other words, raise our vibration and frequency. And then we start to feel the spirits around us more, and we start to feel the other side. So good time for that. Good time for spirit communication, channeling, automatic writing, divination, and all that stuff. But the main thing, again, this is going to increase psychic abilities, and pretty profoundly for a lot of people. Again, that'll depend largely on your chart and how that meshes with the template of this new moon coming up. So what else? Number 4, global structures will fall. Prepare yourself. Mars is stationing now. It's going to go retrograde on the 30th. I think I wrote something about that. No, or was that on my other sheet? Something important I wrote about Mars retrograde. I don't think I mentioned it. Oh, okay. Nothing too big of a deal. This is Mars goes retrograde, and because it's retrograde, when the planet's retrograde, it goes more inward. So it's more like the stepping back, like Mercury retrograde. We don't, get us outgoing. We tend to redo things and stuff like that. So because Mars can be about war and conflicts, we're going to really have the a little bit more insight, or a little bit more of a palpable realization of any internal conflicts that we're dealing with also. So this powerful new moon combined with the Mars station going retrograde can be really good time for resolving some of the internal conflicts. All right, I'm done with that page now. Also, Scorpio, Pluto's not the most organized sign, as is obvious. And did the moon hit Scorpio yet? No, not yet. The sun hit Scorpio this morning. I knew something did. The sun hit Scorpio this morning. So what else? Global tension, final preparations. Now, the global structures, especially on the financial level, and there's things I'm not getting, details in the astrology. I'm not going to get into every single thing, but the way things are set up astrologically, a lot of it has to do with things like the Pluto's stationing in Capricorn, second house influence on the USA Pluto return, other things like that. Basically, can really hit the financial as well as the government level. So we've been seeing that, and again, when Pluto's involved, Pluto or Scorpio's involved, it's about secrets, because Scorpio can be secretive. But we have Uranus squaring Saturn. Saturn's about the structures they're squaring. Also, even though Scorpio can be secretive, it's a very straightforward energy. Long and the short of it is that it's going to be harder than ever to keep secrets under wrap. So we're seeing things bubbling to the surface, like what's going on in the world, the centralization of power, of medicine, all that stuff, of corporations, governments, the economy, all the stuff. The economy is already collapsing. So we have to understand that. And, it doesn't mean that it's doom and gloom or the end of the world. It just is what it is. So we have to understand that these structures are falling, and we need to, make some preparations, maybe invest in precious metals, like take things out of stocks and bonds and go into gold, silver, platinum, or stuff like that, or things that can withstand like a whole, makeover of the economy and all that stuff. So, again, just things to think about. So, final preparation, in case we do face more lockdown situation. It does feel like there's some more with either this or another virus, although I don't think we're going to go into like large scale lockdowns or anything. But that there's also a war that's escalating, that's involving pretty much the whole world. We sometimes talk about World War III coming. Well, it's already happening, and it's kind of been going on for a while, because in today's world, the lion's share of war happens on the cyber battlefield, not on the physical battlefield. And it can be equally as devastating. I mean, it's not going to take people's lives and homes and their well-being, like what's happening in Ukraine and in the Middle East and in Africa and other places in the world, but it still can be very devastating. So, these are all, other aspects of this Pluto, this Mars station, that this is likely to escalate, and it already is. So it's more like a continuation, and you add this eclipse energy. Now the eclipses intensifies the lunar cycle. So all solar eclipses intensifies the new moon. All lunar eclipses, because they happen on the full moons, intensifies the energies of the full moon. So everything's intensified this month. So keep that in mind. So number 5 is best time to do our shadow work. This is a time because, again, Pluto's the subconscious, the moon is the subconscious, especially when they're together. And we have Venus, we have this beautiful loving energy, this loving vibration working with this whole thing. So what did I write down here? This is possibly our most transformative lunar cycle in decades. Don't waste this energy. I wrote that in my notes. And so we can uncover things that have been lurking in our subconscious that may have been inhibiting our spiritual as well as our personal and material growth. in this, and even from past lives also. So we have a great time to penetrate deeper into the layers. That's what Pluto does. It penetrates into the depths, and we can heal and clear from the inside out. So it's a really healing energy, and it's really going to have that effect of clearing and healing from deep within, and then starting to work through the layers, and eventually heal our physical bodies also. So if you work with this energy in the right way, and I have several shadow work integration videos, and how to let go and all that kind of stuff here on the channel for you. So here's a couple of exercises. One, always do your long, deep breathing. We need that more than ever. Very simple, 3 minutes, 3 times a day or more. Inhale, feel spirit, feel love and light around you. Inhale that into your heart, circulate that around your body. Then exhale and release any stuck energy, any cogs, other people's energies, the programming of society, of the divide, conquer, get everybody scared shitless basically, and then move in and become their knights in shining armor. It's basically a kind of a loose synopsis of what's going on in the world today. So that's good. But another one is, and this is actually, I'll pin this video also, but this is from the ascension, the first ascension exercises. By the way, there's a part 3 that I'm going to do next week. So if you saw the ascension exercises part 1 and part 2, there's actually a part 3 that's coming up. But in this one, what you do is you make arm circles. So I'm just going to show this part today, and the rest of the set is on the video. So when you do this 8 times, and it's like just making arm circles when you're standing up, but I'm inhaling, bringing my hands together up, and I'm stretching my body from bottom to top all the way up and bringing golden light up through my body. Then when I exhale, I almost make like golden angel wings. So I do that 8 times, then I reverse it. So I inhale, bring my arms up, bring my whole body up. And then on the exhale, I pull down violet light and purple light. That's very protective, by the way. So I pull that down. And then when I bring my arms back, I kind of create this aura that's even larger than the golden angel wings that we created on the first one, and bring that all the way around our auric egg, and just see that in a beautiful violet, blue to purple light, and then do that about 8 times. And again, if you want to see the demonstration, I will link the video. So again, inhale, exhale. Then when I reverse, inhale, exhale. I do them standing up though, unless you have mobility issues, and do it sitting down. So that's number 1. Number 2 is there's a way to do heart sensing to pick up on the spirit. So again, the veils are thin. So one of the exercises it says, like, teach people how to connect with their spirit loved ones or their spirit guides, and it's all intention. I mean, you're already connected to them. It's just that for whatever reason, it's usually programming, belief systems, and all that stuff that we've forgotten, or we kind of severed that tie. But it's there, and working with heart sensing is going to help to increase the magnificence of your heart, and it's going to enhance your heart brain coherence. For those of you that are actually listening to me and doing heart brain coherence, this will help to make it stronger and augment it. And what heart brain coherence is you through the magnified emotions of gratitude, appreciation, and love, and holding that in the heart center, you tap into the master frequency, which is a heart, brain, spirit frequency. So when you really feel these emotions, I mean, when I do it, even when I'm talking about it, I'm starting to get the head rush, because I do that so much. When that happens, or however it happens for you, we're all different. That's when the brain locks in. The heart and the brain are one. They're separated in the body, but the heart has some brain cells in it, nowhere else does. And they're doing more and more studies and validating this more and more. So when you become coherent in heart, and the heart is coherent when it feels love, right? That's what hearts want to do: compassion, gratitude, and those high frequencies. The brain locks in and becomes coherent also. When you have that synergy of heart and brain, both organs get more powerful. So your mind gets stronger, your heart gets stronger, and your connection to spirit gets stronger, because it's heart, mind, spirit. It's all connected. another divine triad add to maiden, mother, and crone, or Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. So with the heart sensing, get relaxed, feel your heart. Inhale love into your heart, inhale, exhale, release, and then start to expand your heart. Feel your body with your heart. Don't think about it. You can, when you're thinking, you're not connecting, right? When you're connecting, you're not thinking. So we want to connect now, not think. So feel your heart expanding and feeling your body, then feeling your aura, then expand your heart and feel around you and feel the energy. And with that, where do you feel the spirit? And trust yourself, even if it's very subtle, even if you think, am I making this up or is this real? Trust that. If you're not thinking and you're connecting, nothing that you get will be made up, even though it'll feel like it is, because the spirit messages come through our imagination. The same part of the brain that daydreams also gets messages from spirit. It's the imaging part of the brain, the right hemisphere, the abstract, the intuitive part of the brain. So practice this, do it daily, and you'll get stronger. Then once you feel a presence, feel your heart and that presence becoming one, and see what you get. Ask questions and trust everything you get. Spirit will always speak in your language. The way you see things, your spirits will understand that because they read your energy fields, and they'll give you messages in your own language, so to speak. Like I'm very into music, so I get a lot of songs. I read tarot, so they show me tarot cards. If you don't read tarot, your loved ones won't show you tarot cards. They'll show you something that's familiar to you as messages. But the idea is to trust. You may get a memory, you may get a symbol, you may get words, you may get feelings, you may get clairsentience, which is just knowing without knowing how you know. Practice makes perfect. But so number 3 is work with water. We have a lot of moon is watery. Number 2, again, the moon is highlighted this month. The moon is the important player this month. Pay attention to your lunar aspect. Pay attention to void of course moons, and listen. When the moon passes its last major aspect of a sign, it's said to go void of course and lose part of its identity. And what happens with us is that we tend to be a little bit scattered. It's a little bit harder to move forward in life. So the idea when the moon is void, of course, is to step back and to be more in a contemplative, meditative energy. Pay close attention to the void, of course, moons. Okay, so what else? Charge your water. That's the exercise I want to do. Do clearing baths. How do you charge water? Think of Dr. Emoto and the water experiments. For those that don't know, under specific temperature and pressure, uh, um, it's been shown that our emotions, our energy, emotion, and our thoughts influence the way the water crystals form. And positive ones are very, very beautiful and symmetrical, and the negative ones are very jagged and troubling in their appearance. So you charge water, and I'm gonna, not this Thursday. This Thursday, I've got a Halloween video coming in, but the following Thursday, I'm going to do my manifestation trick using water. I'm going to do that as a video for you guys a week from Thursday. So you can use water as a manifestation tool also. Water has memory. Water has consciousness. We're 70% water. The earth is 70% water, or more even. I think we're more than 70% water. If you learn how to work with this element and charge it and create the right vibration, that'll enhance your ability to manifest. So I'm going to teach you how to do this, not today, because then I'll be here all night, but in a video. But for now, even before you drink your water, because the water goes through pipes, it goes through this, that, and the other thing. It's basically lifeless when we get the water. The chi is pretty much like, gone. And if you buy bottled water, well, you're buying plastic also. So there's really not much getting around it. And they have devices that add chi to the water, but you can Reiki it, even if you don't know Reiki. What you do is you relax, you pull energy from around you on the inhale into your heart, feel love, gratitude, health, well-being. Then when you exhale, project that energy through your arms, through your hands, and into the water, not into the glass, but into the center of the water. And do that for a minute or two, even before you drink the water. Even say love, gratitude, healing, your words like that, and then drink your water. So they're saying to charge your water and do a lot of baths or showers. And when you're doing your baths and showers, water can cleanse like negative vibrations or stuck, clingy, staticky vibrations or etheric cords from other people. So work with the water. That's number 3. Number 4, there's a shadow work regression exercise that I wanted to share with you guys. And I first did it. I called on Archangel Raphael, and it happened very spontaneously. But you can call on any of your spirit guides or angels that you want. And the idea is you set the intention that you want to regress back and find yourself at a younger age when there was a trauma or when there was something major that affected your programming. Because without the programming, we'd all be intuitive, we'd all be open, we'd all be healthy. That's our birthright. When we came into this world, we came in this perfect spirit, perfect energy. Of course, we have a soul which has an imprint of our other lifetimes, so we imprint that on our bodies. But we are, we're granted good health, and sometimes our souls choose otherwise. Well, if you get ill because it's a soul's choice, because it's something you need to learn and grow, then the idea is to work through that illness as much as possible. But where that can be avoided, that's what we want to do. And a lot of times it's just things that get stuck in our energy fields, traumas that get stuck, negative programming that hampers our positive belief system, hampers our ability to heal ourselves and maintain health. That's responsible for a lot of mental, emotional, as well as physical health. So what I did, I found myself in my room when I was 6 years old, crying, as I did a lot at that age, feeling rejected, feeling like my parents aren't really my parents. I want to go home. All these things go through my mind, and all in my head as a little 6-year-old, all the horrible things I'm going to do to my parents for punishing me, blah blah whatever. So I go there, and then I start to talk to this child, to my younger self, and just explain, you're loved, you're cherished. Things have to be hard because you have a special mission in life. And I was doing this, and I felt the presence of Archangel Raphael. And at one point, when I was seeing the child crying, I said something. I don't remember exactly what it was, but I saw a little smile between the tears. And right at that moment, in my mind, I grabbed that child. I gave him a big hug. I brought him back into my heart. So that integrates the lost soul part from that trauma of that period. And then the Archangel brought me back. So that's a really good exercise to try. Get really relaxed. You can even do a little bit of a regression, just take yourself back. Spirit's saying no. They're saying actually call on a guide, like call on a special guide for this work, and just ask them to take you back to a time and see what happens. It may take a little practice. If you do it and nothing much happens, don't get discouraged. Just try again. And usually when we don't expect it, that's when boom, something happens. So that's a shadow work regression exercise. It's not in, I don't think, it may be in one of my videos. I don't know. And the number 5 is mediumship and divination. Talk to the spirits. Use things like pendulum or body dowsing. And the exercise they wanted me to show you was just how to get your yes and no through body dowsing. Like our souls know the answers to things that we may not consciously know. So you can use your body, but you have to get very relaxed, and you have to get out of your thoughts, and you have to be present. And in that state of presence, you still have to have enough intellect to state your question to yourself, but try to stay present in that process. For me, I go forward with the yes and backwards for no, but find your no and yes. So ask Spirit, show me a yes, relax, see what happens to your body, show me a no. Or another way you can do this is just ask your question that you know the answer to. It's like, is my name Adam? Yes. This is my name, Constance. No, I'm definitely not a Constance. I don't look like a Constance either. So you can do that, and then practice. If so, you have a question in your life, practice and see, your yes and no, and see if you can get that. So that's Oh, one other thing I wanted to do today. I have a couple of different angel cards. So Colleen, good for you. I have his book. I forgot whose book we're talking about, but I'm glad you have his book, Colleen. Thank you, Dawn. All right. So first one is angel therapy cards. These are both Doreen Virtue decks. I'm gonna definitely get another a couple more angel divination decks that aren't Doreen Virtue. I mean, I love her work, but I like to get other takes. But whenever you do divination, that's part of exercise number 5. Spirit will always give you things in your own language, just like spirit communication. So whatever you notice in the card, whatever. So I have to stop thinking so I can connect now and be drawn to the right card. They also show me a flute. So, this may be just like a little side note that, get a little bit more engaged with music also, a little bit more dancing, singing. The sound of our own voice and singing or chanting is the most healing sound in the universe. This, according to Yogi Bhajan, who I know has a tough reputation or whatever, but the teachings are very, very good, for just to put that out there for those of you that have heard of some of his misdeeds when he was in his human form. So this is the one that I pulled. I see. Clear yourself. Perfect. Ask the angel to release any toxic energies that you may have absorbed. Perfect advice. And I'd say to try to do this even before the new moon or the day of the new moon. Just work on clearing other people's energies, anything that you may have absorbed. Work with water. So if you do a water bath, charge your water, charge your bath, or charge your shower, that this is going to cleanse negative vibrations, cords, other people or other systems, like the media, the government systems, clear any like extraterrestrial, negative extraterrestrial energy, lower astral energy, all that stuff. So that's what this one is saying. And then the other angel message, if I can find room on this table. And you guys aren't seeing how unorganized I am today. But then again, if I keep saying it, but like I said, Pluto energy, I'm just going with the flow here. All right, so they pulled me to this card. Astara, I love this. Here's the other ones. These are the two angel cards that I got. So one was clear yourself. Technically, I pulled them this way, but it doesn't matter. And the other one is Astara. She reminds me to tell you, my one of my partners in crime, Heather Istara, this is Astara, and I on Tuesday evening. This is going to be through Zoom, by the way. So you're going to have to get the login. It's free, but it's going to be Zoom, not on YouTube. But she and I are going to do a full moon meditation. I'm going to do some channeling with the master teacher. She's going to do some energy channeling and healing work. So we both do different forms of energy channeling. So anyway, we will bring a star very close to you guys. I love the imagery. I love the star there that she's touching, and the message is you deserve the best. Reach for the stars with your dreams and desires, and don't compromise. And remember, this is an excellent new moon for manifestation. In fact, the whole lunar cycle. So even though the tower's falling, even though there's going to be challenges, to the degree of which we're not sure, remember, time is fluid, and it's a response to consciousness. Basically, time is the measure of the rate of change of energy, but it's not what it is that we perceive as humans. It's circular and it's all inclusive. And the point being is that through consciousness, we can do this the easy way, we can do this the hard way. It's inevitable that consciousness is shifting. It's inevitable that structures are going to fall. Like those wheels have already been put in motion. However, through our consciousness, through our clarity of mind and our clarity of heart, and especially, do this on an individual level, because that's all we got. But the more people that tune in and then that are raising their frequencies, the easier this transition is going to be. So, we can resist, we can fight. It's like, I don't, want to be uncomfortable. I don't want this, that, or the other thing. Or we can go with the flow, and by going with the flow, we can connect with the flow. And by connecting with the flow, we can influence the flow. And if you do that individually and everybody's doing that, that's going to ease the transition. So that's what I have for you today. I think we're good. So very good. So Barb is interjecting. Yeah, I love Doreen Virtue. Yeah, I don't resonate with the direction she's taken either. I respect it, but it's not necessarily for me. So I get that. I understand that. And yes, thank you. Oh, happy birthday, Dawn, and all the Scorpios. This is your season now. You're starting today. This is your sun. This is your time to shine. People like me who are Librans are passing on the baton to you now. So lead well. Scorpios are truthful. They're honest. Again, there's a secretive side to that, but Scorpio is a very to the point sign, and really at the end of the day just wants everything to be right. So anyway, that's what I have. Thank you, Susan, for that. Always singing. Yes, I sing every day. When I don't chant, I sing in the shower, in the bedroom. I play drums and I sing. Um, I don't do it in public because I don't really have that kind of a singing voice. I mean, I've learned how to carry a tune and how to use my breath so I can sing. I'm just not good at it. I'm a good medium though. So anyway, uh, the Scorpio. Yes, my son's mom's a Scorpio. She might actually be watching this, or she may tune in later. Um, and my brother, who's deceased, was a Scorpio. I have a lot of experience with Scorpios. It's not a subtle sign, but it's a great sign. It's a great energy. I've always loved Scorpios and Scorpio energy. So again, thank you, either. Good, Susan. Don't let it stop you. Sing away. In fact, sing so loud that I can hear you all the way from Bay Ridge or wherever you are, all the way to Woodstock. All right. And laugh a lot, celebrate. We signed up for this. This is what we want. So, unfortunately, we're going to see some degree of suffering, maybe more than we've seen on a large scale than ever. Be compassionate, you know, open your heart, send love to the world. And together we're going to get through this and we're going to come out of it stronger and better and more connected and more unified than we ever have. And maybe, you know, maybe thousands of years even. In fact, I believe so. So, all right. Beautiful. Thanks again, everybody. Of course, this will upload as a video. So if you missed anything, check back. Sayonara.